Hey everyone, Egman here, and this video is going to be awesome because it probably has people's two favorite things. A lot of math, and showing that Peter Catani was wrong. Did Eggman just say Peter Catani was wrong? That's not the point of this video. What happened is I was watching him and Marcel Russell play the two-star decks, and he made a play that I didn't really agree with, and I wanted to kind of show why and how to fix or what the most probable thing is to do at all times. And yeah, and this is no way trying to once again make fun of Peter Catani or anything. And we all make mistakes, especially with these new cards. There's we have to figure out how to play them in the right way. And so let's jump into it. So let's let's go over here. So this is the like 10-minute mark of this. Also, this is a really experimental way for me to do it, but so there are 33, I believe there are 33 cards in deck. 33 cards in deck, 6 in life, and what that means that there are 7 plus 4, so there are 11 cards in hand. So, and then also there's 0 Dragon Balls here. There are 4 Dragon Balls here. And then there are 3 Dragon Balls here. So that's what the it's like right now. And so it is turn 2, and if you are wanting to awaken this turn, what is the best way for you to do it? And then so I want you to think about it for a minute. You can pause the video if you want. I'm about to say the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So based on my math, and I will show you the work. The best way to do it is to draw 4 cards, then use the Dragon Ball ability, and then try to draw 2 more. And what Peter did was he used the Dragon Ball ability first, and then he tried to draw 6 cards. And so let's go into the math of this real quick. Okay, new one. So we've got 33 cards, and actually, here, let me see. So what are so if you draw just 6 cards all at once, so he had 33 cards in deck, and then he searched 2 Dragon Balls, so you're at 31. And you're trying to draw 6. So the probability that we're doing, for people who aren't really familiar with probability math, it is 1 minus the probability that we like didn't get it. Okay, so man, this is awful. But so the probability of that is with drawing 6 cards out of 31. So if you have 31 cards and there's 1 possible Dragon Ball left, the chances of not drawing that card is 30 and 31. And then we're going to keep going for the next 6 cards. So next card would be 29 out of 30. Then after that, 28, 27, 26, 1, 2, 3, and then 25. And these are all out of, let's see, you can just do one big fraction bar, you can do all the mini ones if you want, doesn't really matter. 27 and 26. All right, so this is the probability of not getting a Dragon Ball off those 6. And so we can do some cheat math where we can just cross these out. So we just get this really easy fraction of 25 over 31, which is approximately, let me get my calculator out, which is approximately 25 divided by 31. So that's about an 80% chance of failure. So 20% chance that he was able to do it. All right, not terrible. It's a 1 in 5. But let's look at it if he wouldn't have done that. So the alternative way was to draw 4 cards, And then, so let's see. If so we do not start at 31 cards in deck because we don't use the leader ability first. So we have a 33. And there are 3 possible cards that we want to hit. So instead of it would be a 30 out of 33. And then we keep going. So after that, there is a 29 chance out of 32 to draw a card we want, a 28 out of 31, and then a 27 out of 30. So math is a little bit more complicated because these two don't cancel out. So this fraction would be equal to, the top part would be 29 times 28 times 27, which is 21924. And then the other one is 33 times 32 times 31, which is 32736, which equals 21924 divided by 32736 is percentage wise. So it is a 66.9% of failure. So that is a 34.1%. And we're not done yet, because that's from those 4 cards. So if you miss it, then you will use your leader's ability to get 2. And then you have 2 more Dragon Balls to draw 2 cards, right? So then you have you have 28 cards in deck. And you're drawing 1, and there's 1 card you want, so it's 28 out of 27, or 27 out of 28. And then you can do that one more time. And 26 out of 27, cancel these out, which is equal to 26 over 28. And that quick math is 26 divided by 28, which equals 92.8% of not hitting it. And so what we do is, to get the total probability that we do not hit it, we multiply these two. So 66.9% times, let's say, what is it? Yeah, 92.8%. So times 0.669 is equal to 62.1%. There we go. So that is the percent chance, if we do it that way, that we fail, which means that we have a 37.9% chance to succeed. So almost twice as likely if we would have done it, if he would have done it, draw 4 cards, use leader, and then draw 1. And so that's a big significant difference. And then also, just for fun, let's do one where, let's say that there was one of the Dragon Balls was in his life, so he wasn't going to get it anyways. So there's a 2% chance, or there are only 2 cards to do it. So let's do that real quick. So same premise. So we have 33 cards left in our deck. So we have 33, and there are 2 possible cards that we can hit. So 31 times 30, 29, 28 over 32, 31, 30. These 2 can cancel out. So we're left with 29 times 28. Sorry, my calculator fell asleep. And by calculator, I mean phone. 33 times 32 is 1056. I'm sorry about this horrendous handwriting. I need to, if I want to do this more, I should probably get like some sort of like stylus or something. And then 28 times 29 0.812, and then equals 0.056. So that is a 76.8% chance of failure. So we have a 23.2% chance of success. And then we do the same math that we do here. So it's the same probability. So it's a 76.8 times 90, or percent, times 92.8%. And 0.768 times 0.928 equals, wait, that can't be right. 0.768 times 0.928. There we go. All right. And that equals 71.2% chance of failure, which is a 28.8% chance of success. And there we go. So that is in the middle of the road. So this is obviously the best chance. This is the middleest chance, and this would be the, where is he? There is the 20% chance. So that a little bit of the worst. So that's kind of how you do that math. From general, you want to be able to draw the most cards or you want to draw cards with the most success of hitting it. And so the other thing to consider is that there are a couple things to consider, and I kind of want to go into. There are 100 scenarios that you could go through with combinations of how many cards you can draw, how many cards are left in your life, how many Dragon Balls in your life, and how much cards to draw from the deck. But for the biggest part, if you want to, what am I trying to say? So a couple things to take care of. One is that do you get the Dragon Balls from your life first, or you get the Dragon Balls from your deck first, right? And it depends on the kind of playstyle you're going against. If you're going against kind of a more aggressive matchup, you can kind of bait the gambit of, oh, he's going to hit cards in my life, and there's a chance that he will hit the card that I want him to hit. He'll hit the Dragon Balls, and so that's a free draw of the Dragon Balls, and that's fair. But the other way to think about it is just how many other cards are in the percent chance that he does hit that Dragon Ball. It's like a 1 in 8, right? So that's like a 12% chance that he'll actually hit it. And so I don't know if that is the correct way to think about it, but it also depends on the matchup, because if you're playing against a really aggressive matchup, that makes a difference. If you're playing a more controlling matchup, take cards out of your life. They're not going to hit it out of your life anyways. So that is something to consider. And then additionally, so one of the big things that Peter Katani was worried about was, he's like, oh, I don't want to draw with my Dragon Balls yet because I don't want to draw too many, and then I'll have like I won't get enough value off of my leader. And I think that's totally fair. I think that is a valid point, not being able to get as many cards from your because he gets to draw 2, right? And when you're Awakened, you only get to draw 1, right? Or you do some fancy plays. So if you want from a value base, and maybe that's what Peter Katani was trying to do. He's just trying to outvalue his opponent. He wasn't trying to awaken as early as possible, which is totally fair. Then you don't want to. Then drawing cards. You don't want to see the Dragon Balls at all. You want to just use its effect 3 times and get 2 card draw for 3 turns and then awaken. If you're not using anything special on his unawakened side, that's whatever. So there is that. Or if you're not using anything special on his awakened side, if you weren't going to play a Desire or something, I totally see that. But yeah, the thing that I don't think people that you can take into account if you are trying to awaken, there is if you've got like if you do have the 4 cards in hand, and then you're like, oh, I don't want to draw 4 cards and hit 2 Dragon Balls. You can stop. You can just activate them one at a time, draw, and once you see that Dragon Ball, stop drawing. Use your ability, get the 2 Dragon Balls automatically, and then go from there. And then once again, all these calculations only matter if you're playing 7 of the standard Dragon Ball, because that card is just because it's the one recycle one. The other ones cost energy and do other stuff. The 1-star Dragon Ball is kind of the same thing, I guess, because as long as you have an open energy, you can do it. But the 2-star Dragon Ball is not the same thing, so it doesn't gain, it doesn't replace itself. But yeah, there are countless other scenarios. I'm not sure if I'll go into ones where like, oh, what, is it the best to take the 2 of my life first, or what the probability is of that. I would say that the thing to consider is that, here, let me see, can I do a new real quick? No. Let's see. Let's just spitball this. This might go terribly wrong. So you have 50 cards in deck. You draw 8. You draw 6, and then you draw 8. And so that's 14. So you've got 36 cards in deck. So 36 in deck, 6 in hand, 8 in life, right? So let's say that there are 2 in life here. And let's say you have 0 Dragon Balls. Man, this mouse is so hard to just... There you go, 6 Dragon Balls, or 0 Dragon Balls in hand. Maybe I should just do this. So 0 here, and then we have 5 here. Additionally, if you want to awaken as soon as possible, you should definitely start with Dragon Balls in your hand. A lot of people, if you're going for more of a value base, I can understand like, oh, I want to not have that, but I really think you should have as many Dragon Balls in hand, and that's a big thing for, I think, a lot of people, where at first a lot of people are like, oh, I want as much value, so they're not in hand, but I think you really do want as many in hand, especially because Dragon Balls in life, though it sounds good, is actually pretty bad in my opinion. It brings you closer to death, and you have to play the gamble of, oh, do I take them out of my life? Do I have my opponent take them out of my life? Like, if you have 2 in your life and you're like, oh, my opponent's going to swing into it, and then my life loss would be circumvented. But in reality, like, you are going to take 2 life. And then if they don't hit, you're like, oh, I'm going to have to take 2 more life for no good reason. So that's why it's a bit of a gamble for that. So let's talk about that. So if you have 8 cards in life, and all right, no, if you have 8 Dragon Balls, 8 cards in life, 2 of them are Dragon Balls. So let's do the math. So if you take 2 damage, what are the chances that you get you get 1 Dragon Ball? Let's do that. Actually, let's just do 1 in life. So 6 here. Gets a bit trickier when there's more than 1, but and you know what? We can do 2. So if we have 8 cards in life, so we're drawing 2, so it's a 6 out of 8, and then 5 out of 8, and that equals, or 5 out of 7. I'm going to do this by myself. Ready? So 30 out of 56, and that equals 30 divided by 56. So that's a 53% chance of failure. So if you have 2 Dragon Balls in life and you have 2, the chances that you're taking 2 life for no good reason and trying to hit those cards is a 53% chance. And so that's kind of like, so you have to toss the coin, and that's only to find 1, right? That's the chance that you won't find any, right? And so that means you'll have to take 2 cards out of your life, and that is no good. So I don't really like that ability, just because I'd rather just get the cards from my life early and then combo out of stuff. If your opponent's really aggressive, I can see this being the case, but It is definitely a thing to consider, and I think a lot of people have to decide this on their own and their own play styles about doing that from life. Um, hey, I'm going to cut the video off here. I kind of go into like a big, like randomly, like big old mess of me jumping around to different things, and haven't done enough research, actually. Like, I haven't done enough calculations before the show for these situations, so I'm gonna end it there. But in general, I hope this gives you at least tools to analyze, or to give some analysis to what is the right play / what was the right play. Lets you think about what are the probabilities of awakening with the Dragon Balls and being able to find them and stuff like that, and I hope this helps. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.